morning, and I'm super excited to share this. Just the challenges and the difficult things has happened to me on this challenging and exciting process. So I am super excited. Again, it's 5:40 in the morning. I love to wake up on time. My son's it's ready to get ready to school. My kids will be up soon. It's just I feel that trying to wake up earlier really change the day a lot. So anyway, today I want to talk about who is Freddy and the real story behind Woodworks Remodeling. Not the graded logo or the branding you see behind, but actually the real through has happened through this. We are 7 years in business now. We're going through 8 years, and I love how AI make you look really good. So I'm not that great of shape, but I'm looking forward to work out more and get those muscles in there. But this kind of showcase our team a little bit better in the back end. All right, so who is Freddy? Like, why did I build? And also, let me just stop the volume. I was reading this book called The Secret of the Millionaire Mind by T. Hart Ebeck. I think is the name of the author for this book. It's a really powerful book, and also the whole teaching of the book is about how your mindset, how do you beliefs really hold you back, and I'm trying to change that in myself and also in my kids and my team. That being said, after this I want to take you guys to another life. My team is already in the job site today. We are really behind schedule. Today the driver is coming and we have few things to get it done on this project. So they were here at 5 in the morning. So they're already in the job site. So that's kind of amazing to see that your team really take ownership on their part to make sure I can do, to find more families to help. Like right now I'm trying to share a little bit about us and the things like that. So I'm super excited and I am thankful for having team, that committed like that. So huge shout out for them. All right, so who's Freddy? Like, why Woodworks Remodeling? How this whole thing starts? All right, so first thing, I come from woodwork family as a background. So we used to build furniture back in my country when I was growing up. So my father was a woodworker and he used to build homes. He was the foreman to this, to build houses from scratch, and he was really good at it. And he was very known about his craft. And my dad used to do general construction things ever. And my uncle has a shop, so I really started early in my years to learn about woodwork. And I also see my grandfather used to build anything just with the hammer and chisel. Like, he was very amazed. So I just love doing what we do. And then when I moved to this country about 20 something years now, I forgot the years, I really kind of fell in love with the construction, because in this country everything we use wood to build in houses. Like, everything is 2x4s, 2x10s, and all the 2x you can think about, drywall. I really thought, like, okay, it's not gonna hold the house, So that's kind of everything started back then, and then that's kind of the woodworks or the woodwork name come up to of the business, Woodworks Remodeling. So now here we have a beautiful brand, and we have a bigger team in the office, which I'm proud of them, and also the team in the field that just make me, like today, that early in the field. So that's just exciting. All right, now nobody's living in this house, so this is an empty house, and it's a full home remodeling. So there's no neighbors at the side, so we're not gonna bother nobody. So it's gonna be no problem. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about why Woodworks Remodeling, why the process, like what make we have the process we implement. Like why with the render, like why we ended up doing the render. So over these years, these years doing the remodeling, we find out that the most critical part for a home remodeling is that what's gonna cost and how it's gonna look. Because very important things. So we find out the best way to approach. I don't know if I'm live. It says I'm streaming, so I'm supposing I'm live. I hope I'm live. So you know what? Let me double check. Sometimes I'm just trying to share my content and it's not going great. Oh, sorry, I'm doing live. Great. I'm just gonna share this in my personal page, so that way I reach out to more. Come on, share now. Perfect. All right. So why the design? Like why we have to go through the render? For example, if you see right here, you can actually see what the kitchen look like. You know why we have to get there. So over the years, really trying to make it easy for customers, family like yours, is that what's gonna look like and how much it's gonna cost. So two big questions I find out that needs to be answered early in the process. So what's gonna look like, and the reasons. I'm just a little story about. Had a family was doing it with bathroom remodeling, and he did have hard time picturing what the bathroom fixtures or the banding is gonna look like. So he ordered one, we put it, he didn't like it. We had to put a temporary one until she orders the other one. So it's like a lot of back and forth. The entire process took a lot of months. I don't even tell you the months it took. Now, as we come into the bathroom doing this, in and out, in and out, in and out, these floors were marble tile. So beautiful floor. We were putting drop cloths on top of the floor to cover and protect every time. But eventually the drop cloths below that has those little black non-slip things that kind of mark the floor. So it's just this not having the right process, not having like this way to show the customers gonna look like, cause challenges. So now we have to sand the floor and polish the floor and apply all these products. It just things like that. It doesn't really help. Doesn't make easy for customers or for families. So that's why we said, how we can come up with a solution to solve that problem. And then when the render came in, let's just find. And now the other challenge was, okay, now we need that. Who is gonna do that for us? Like, how can I get this done for a customer? Now I have little knowledge in render. I have a problem. I just want to learn a lot of things. Sometimes that really put me back, and I have to learn how to do a few things. But really, to do a render at this detail and just draw the kitchen at this detail, it just takes a lot of time, and I do not have the time. I would prefer do that. I'll probably not able to do the other things. Building the team, meeting the customers, and giving the information on site more than drawing the things. So then we have to come. Okay, we need somebody in house that's gonna do that, or somebody that can really build that for us. Then we find somebody that's gonna do that for us. So you ask, you work for it, and then you find it. Next one, the other challenge was, how much does it cost? Like, what is this thing gonna cost? And then, and then not only that, like, what's gonna cost, and also why it costs what it costs, which is very, very important also. It's not only it costs X, but why it costs X. Because if you get a multiple quotes, and you see this is 150,000 and this 120,000, you don't really understand. We understand you don't do this for a living. You don't understand that. I do understand that you can't compare. If even the worthy in the agreement or the quote, it says kind of the same. You don't really understand like why is the difference, because it has to be difference, right? It can't be the same thing. $30,000. So that was the challenge. Okay, how can I show the families? Okay, it's gonna cost you more, but this is the reason that costs you more. It's not just because somebody just put numbers on it. So then we come up with, okay, how we gonna answer that question that's gonna benefit the customer and also gonna help my team to be able to produce and deliver what we promised. And then ended up coming up with this. If you see full breakdown budgeting, from permits to work area protection, demolition, if you see, everything has a number. See the 7,560. So everything really has a number. This is for kitchen remodeling. All right, I'm going to share with you what it looks like right now. What's it called? We are working on this project right now, actually. This is what it looks like right now, and this is what we're hoping. Nope, not this one. I'm sorry. What was it? this is what we're gonna look like when it's done and finished. You know, so it's a huge transformation. Now all the selections are here, everything is ready to go. So that's kind of the question needed to be answered, and come up with this solution. Just break down everything. So that way, listen, why not to be transparent, right? Why not to show the customers this is what it costs, and it is break down the way that you get to understand, but the way that you're not gonna get overwhelmed. If I put it's gonna cost you this hours, when I pay the team this hours, overhead's gonna be that much, then you're gonna get overwhelmed. You're not gonna really understand the numbers. But as you break down the way you get to absorb, you get to understand. For example, plumbing, a structural wall right here, putting a beam is gonna be 9,551.18. So you have to understand that, okay, this is gonna cost me that much. Right now you can really compare apples to apples, and you can actually see the scope of work better. Right? So all of those things, and here's also the cool thing. One of the challenge was selections. Previous to this, and I think a lot of my partners, constructors, they do is they take the custom, they send it to the showroom. Say, hey, go you pick your stuff, select whatever you like, and then we install that for you. So I need to know what you're gonna pick, so I can budget accordingly, which is I think the right way to do it. But instead of that, I was like, you know what? How would we just make it easy for them? Instead of just sending them to just pick whatever, let's just give them some guidance. You know, I'm gonna go to the selection. Let me just pull up bathroom remodeling. But this is a bathroom, just to make it easy for you. We go all the way down, same idea, break down everything, customer have full understanding. Go to the selections. Right here, for example, here is the bathroom tile. How many square foot of tile we need? I think let me just see something a little more nicer. I think this is more breakdown. This is a little bigger bathroom. The scope is a little bigger because the bathroom is 100 years old. Alright, so right here, that's just some idea, right? That you can use and understand what it looks like. There's some tile right here, and this bathroom is all marble tile. It's a beautiful marble tile. And in this bathroom, we're doing full shower all the way around 48 inches. The houses in the neighborhood, you know, very affluent neighborhood. So any money you put in the house, you're gonna get money back. So super. That's one of the other things that probably gonna talk about it later. But just the selection right here, if the bathtub right here, and make it easy for customers, building the budget in advance, so the customer really have some guidance to go to the showroom. Right? Like, this is what I hear from you. It's important from you for you, and this is the budget will look like. Now they have understanding, and they can see, okay, this bathroom is gonna cost X, and they are okay with that. Great. If they say, Freddy, this is too much expensive, let's discuss a little bit, or let's do different selections before even they go to the showroom. What's gonna happen if you go to the showroom and you like something, and that's way above your budget? It's gonna break your heart to let it go. Now, not having a budget as a guidance for you, it's gonna be even harder to figure out, okay, what's your selection. But once we build the budget and we send this to our vendors, and when you come, he's gonna guide you through the right selection, then it's gonna be easy for you to make a decision. So the whole idea to make it easy kind of came out from there. Now here's the cool thing is, before you even get to the showroom, all this, the budget it's gonna have, for example, here's a link, bathtub, here's a link. You can actually go online and actually take a look at the product and see what it actually look like. For example, right here, you see the bathtub, it's 1,436.94, and there's more option right here. One for 1,100, for 2,000. You know, you get to select more options in here if you want. But we put one for you according from what I hear from you, what's important for you. If you tell me, Freddy, I want to have a deep bathtub, then I'm gonna probably pick up a 21 inches deep for you. But the whole idea is to give you some guidance, so you don't really have loss in selection. So now, all that happens, everything, shower body, toilet, mirrors, faucet, you name it, everything has to be built into it. Even the shower glass or faucet. You know, same idea. Faucet, there's a link. You just click the link. It's gonna take you to the vendor website. Now right here, you get to pick different colors. You see the color. Just by changing the color, you're gonna change the price. You know, so That's kind of how everything came up to. Now, why Woodworks Remodeling? So now the remodeling part, or the Woodworks part, remodeling is because that's what we do. We masterize remodeling. We transform spaces into beautiful spaces, from just kitchen, bathrooms, up to full home remodeling. So that's kind of the background of Woodworks Remodeling, and that's how we ended up building the budget, the way it looks right now, the design, what it looks like right now. Now, in all the 7 years, I gotta tell you, there has been moments where really there's no money for gas. Like we promised this customer we're gonna do this, and they did not have a fully system like this to build the budget. Put everything on it. Now, if you don't have something like this, basically what's gonna happen is gonna cost us more to do it. Now there's no money enough to cover the expenses, and that's basically where the cash flow problem comes in. And we've been in a situation where I remember we did a home addition for a customer. I price just in direct cost $20,000 less. So I had to take a loan $20,000 to put in this house because I budget under the price. Not even make any profit, not even start covering, just to produce the direct cost. We were $20,000 less. I gotta tell you, on these 5 years, on these 7 years, has not been easy. One thing was understanding numbers and not having a solid process like this. Really building a budget, how much things gonna cost, why things cost, not only for the customer, also for us and as a team, to build what we promised. So them, how much them is gonna cost us? Like how long does it really take? How many dumps do we need? Do we need masks? Do we need gloves? Do we need to cover the space? Like what's gonna take that should make a demolition easier without destroying the entire space? So all of those things have to be taken into consideration, and then we build the budget, and then we share with you what actually scope of work and what it costs to do that part. So understanding numbers is super important. Really figuring out how much things cost and why it costs is super important, not only for customers, also for the company, so they can really deliver what they promise, plus also stand behind of the work. And something comes up, they can just handle it. Alright, so that's a little bit about background. Now, also I gotta tell you, the wrong decision I make that helped me out to push, ask for questions, and ask myself for a question. Like we are 4 years in the business, 5 years in the business. Everybody is happy. We're working from Monday to Saturday. Because we're familiar with the work, we have really opened up. We're enjoying the work, but every end of the month, we're struggling to cover bills. Like something has to be wrong, and I feel like we're trying what's right. So all of those things kind of not understanding numbers, not building the right way to build the budget, all of those things really was hurting our company. And then when I if you answer yourself for questions, you will get the answers. And now we have a full team member in house that builds the entire budget, like puts everything on it, from a dumpster to everything. Now we still make some adjustments as we go, right? But at least the mistakes are less. I gotta tell you, last project, this project I'm showing to you right here. Where was it? This one, I think it was right here. Yeah, this one right here. The beam right here. This beam from here to here. I think we budgeted about $3,000. The whole beam cost $4,500. So it was $1,500 that were out of the budget. The reason for that was the beam calculator was going to be smaller, but it needed bigger beam by an architect. So we couldn't really go to the customer saying that, hey, we need a bigger beam, right? I made a mistake. I under budget the size of the beam, so now we have to pay a little more. So we could have go bigger beam, but it was going to be below the ceiling, so it's not going to look good. So we had to really solve the problem and absorb the cost on this small, miscalculated budget. So things that happen. Still learning, still getting better, but we don't have $20,000 or $30,000 mistakes anymore, and we have to try to avoid them. So for the same idea that we can promise and we can produce what we hoping to, what we promise. All right, 6 in the morning. I want to now share with you guys live what actually my team is doing right now at 6 in the morning. They are there since 5 a.m. But I really appreciate the support, and I really thank everybody for. Let me see. I think I have. What is the picture I have? All right. So my team members are calling me. Dímelo, Edison. Buenos días, señor. Claro que sí. Ah, no sé si quieres sube nomás a mirar. Okay, guys. All right, so that's my team member asking for a question. She's coming to the office now. Well, that's who's Freddy behind the scenes, and everything has been built to make your life easier. So, and I'll leave you with this. If you know anybody that's looking for remodeling, and they have these questions like how much the things cost, why things cost that much, or really have a full understanding, trying to understand like what is the right fit for their project, not only the budget, actually the look of it, the style. Just share my information. I would love to sit down with them, just make life plus easier. As you see with you guys, as you share with you guys, is that everything has been built to make your life easier. And all the challenge I had to went through really helped me, just teach me how can I make life or decision easier for the customer itself. Again, I would love to get all the price, but there's no way I can produce all the work. I have to really go that size to produce all the work, but I can really, the knowledge we have on all the great things and the hard decisions or the hard experience we had really helped me out or give me the knowledge to help more families. Now, if you are a constructor and you are on that difficult situation where you don't understand numbers, you want to build a team and you underestimate your project or you can't really see the light, I would say just ask yourself for answers, and then you really will find the answer. Now, one last thing with this, and I'll leave you guys, is that now I am, I'm trying to really get better to help the customers, to build my team, to really build a company where everybody wins. There's a book. I know there's a book right here. This book right here, it calls Build a Business Where Everybody Wins by Tommy Mello. I love this book. I read probably like 4 times. I don't actually read it. I did audiobook. I love audiobook. And that's the idea. Like build a business where everybody wins, starting from the customer, to make sure the customer receives the best experience. I know it's a huge investment, and you want to make it as easy as possible. So you don't want to make the wrong decision. You work super hard for your money. So we're trying to make that process easier. All right, you guys take care. Thanks so much. And one thing I was gonna leave you with that is, now I am trying to surround with the people that are more successful than me. I'm trying to pick up some of their brain and how can I help my family or families deserve easier. I find out most of these families or most of these successful people, they have a lot of things in common. But one of the big things in common is they really are believers. They believe in God. Which was one of the most important things for me was actually I want to do the right thing because I am a Catholic and I want to really make proud my family. But most of that I believe after this life there's even heaven, if there's heaven, or the opposite part. So I really trying to do what's right. So now I see most of these successful people, they all believers. They believe in God as a number one thing in their lives. That just kind of tell me that I really have to practice my faith, because when I start working in business, I kind of let the faith one side to just focus more in working hard. So all right, You guys take care. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for the support, and I hope you like what you hear from Freddy. That's kind of the background